My name is Garth Liebhaber. I'm a fifth grade teacher. I've taught for 8 years at Hammond Elementary here in Chicago. I am also a member of the Chicago Teachers Union Executive Board, and that board serves to advise the officers of our union. 3 years since Karen Lewis, Jesse Sharkey, the core caucus took leadership of the union, we saw a change in the union. The union began organizing members for a member-driven union. CORE is the Caucus of Rank-and-File Educators and was formed about 5 years ago because we were seeing a lot of school closings. A lot of our members had been displaced. A lot of these schools, these poor neighborhood schools, were being taken over by charter schools. And those are quasi-public-private organizations that don't have union protections, provide generally inferior education for our students, and undermines the democratic process of this country, quite frankly. We were doing a lot to organize around school closings, and when our union had a general election, we ran a slate. And I think that people saw what our caucus was doing, that we were working very hard to protect member rights and the quality of public education. And I think they responded to that, and we were elected. Our emphasis has been on a member-driven union, educating our membership, and that really built up to the strike when we were in negotiations. We were in negotiations for 10 months, and we knew that we had to prepare our members for a possible strike. Whether or not we actually had to strike was to be seen, but we knew we had to be prepared, and we did that. We did that, quite frankly. One thing that became apparent, being in on negotiations, was that a lot of what the mainstream media was publishing was completely inaccurate. One of the misnomers that they kept pushing was this idea that Karen Lewis was absolutely in charge. Karen Lewis, the CTU president, president of the Chicago Teachers Union, particularly in the time of the strike, there was a lot of pleading for, Karen, call off the strike, we need to get the kids back in school. What we kept responding was that we're a democratic organization, and Karen can't do that. President Lewis can't do that. The House of Delegates, the elected body, each school elects a delegate. That body votes to suspend the strike. Mayor Rahm Emanuel has a long history of getting his way with other unions. We stood up to him, and he definitely didn't like it. And just like many bullies don't like, quite frankly. So once we struck, they were very upset, and they definitely wanted to end the strike as soon as possible. And I think that we had a victory in that sense. There's a lot of things we didn't get. There was a lot of things that a lot of working people don't have. And yes, when I listen to teachers that are frustrated with the contract, I definitely shoulder that responsibility. And, 20/20 hindsight, yes, we couldn't get this, we couldn't get that. It was a fight. You don't have a battle without casualties, and we had casualties. And we're going to see some of those casualties still. I think it was difficult for some members to understand that we really were fighting just to keep what we had. And in that was our victory. I think one of the most inspiring things to come out of the strike is that we did it. We did it. We were organized. We were out there on the picket lines. Teachers that don't normally talk to other teachers or other members, clinicians. Clinicians would be social workers, nurses, people that never talk to each other were talking to each other. And we formed relationships and broke down those barriers of division. I think that's one of the strongest things to come out of a strike. I think it's also inspiring when I listen to the radio in the morning and I hear that yet another suburban school district is going on strike. And we're seeing all of these come after the Chicago Teachers Union strike. I think we're going to see more.